we're throwing all this at you right now saying, if we're again in our 40s, 50s, these are great conversations and things to think about, to ponder before we retire, because so many times we've seen great savers come into both of our offices and it's too late. They're already in their 60s. They're actively in distribution mode. And now we got a tax bill to kind of wrestle through and figure out how we're going to maneuver around that. And so having that conversation of, hey, here's our savings rate. Now let's figure out where we're going to save, because that gets into the next point, which is, well, you gotta have some health insurance coverage in retirement.
Yeah,
and
totally.
if we're before the age of 65, well, you gotta go to the open care marketplace.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've actually had a lot of folks come in who will be worried about going from paying, their employers largely paying for health insurance. And they'll in their mind think, I can't retire before because I'll have to pay for all this healthcare and it's going to be so expensive.
They just don't know. They've never ran the numbers. They just hear it, right?
Well, but even they'll just hear it. They'll go hear that, like, for a family, a couple in their late 50s, early 60s to be on a traditional plan is going to be something like $2,000, $3,000 a month.
Right.
That might be the answer, but that's not always the answer. And we actually find that more often than not is not the answer, but there needs to be planning involved with that.
Oh, absolutely. And especially even in light of current legislation through the One Big Beautiful Bill, there are some changes that are still working through the pipeline right now of the premium tax credits and how that changes. But what we're getting at is, to Scott's point, it may not always be as expensive as once you were either quoted or thought, when we could then figure out, well, where is the money coming from? How are we going to pay from it? Do we need to take it from our 401k, IRA, pre-tax assets, which is all taxable as ordinary income? Or could we take it from a brokerage account, which is capital gains, depending on where you take it within your brokerage account? Or do we have cash saved up, set aside already?
Or have you been saving to a health savings account, which you could find premiums?
Yes, you can.
To a health savings account. So there's all kinds of answers, but it's just looking at that next layer to figure that out. And all of those answers basically tie back to taxes and tie back to withdrawal strategies, which help us understand what your number actually needs to be.